In the city, loving life and trying to survive. But there's not enough time, and there's not enough wine in the world. Basically adulting. Basically adulting.
Hey friends, it's Erin Waddell.
And Luisa Diaz, and welcome back to Basically Adulting.
Today we have a special guest, my sister, Megan.
Hi.
Welcome.
And she's here, she's kind of been here all weekend.
Yeah.
So we're, let's take this opportunity and record. Why not?
Why not? Tell the people a little bit about yourself, Megan.
What about me? I work at an elementary school and I'm an assistant teacher. That's basically really it.
Those are the only things about you.
Oh, you do.
There's no way.
Hang out with my friends, chill.
Okay, so if you could do anything, like, on a Saturday night, what would you do? Like, what's your ideal Saturday night?
See what you're doing and then just tag along.
Hey, can I come and hang out with your friends? When you turn 21, it's going to be a complete game changer.
Be a game changer.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete game changer. But, so, let's talk about what we did Friday night.
Yes.
So, Megan came over Friday night, and Louisa looked up, I don't know, why don't you explain it? Because you're more...
I've been on TikTok, as y'all know, and I kept seeing these, I guess it's called witch talk, witches of TikTok. They were talking about, like, it's the harvest moon and all the full moon. So I told Erin, I was like, we should do a full moon ritual.
Which I'm totally for. I love it.
So we pretty much just let go of anything negative and that no longer served us, and we pretty much just declared what we wanted for ourselves and, danced around
That was
fire.
so fun. We just kind of like burned it all and then the fire got big and we didn't know how to get it out. And
So what we did was we wrote down our fears and some things that we would like to see, in the near future, things that we want to happen. And we, told, first of all, it takes a lot as a person to admit what you're fearful of, and actually writing it down on paper and seeing it, you're like, oh shit. Like,
yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. Like, maybe I should work on that.
Yeah.
And then also writing down your goals and things that you want to happen is also something that I don't think that a lot of people do. And so doing that was also another really good thing. And then also telling someone what your fears are and what you're wanting to accomplish with confidence and then putting it out into the universe. I think those people that are doing it with you, like you guys, are there to, like, hold me accountable and encourage me, and and same with me to you with,
Yeah, it just feels empowering.
Yeah.
Because we wrote down our fears and then we went out to the balcony and pretty much, like, I released the fear of blah, blah, blah and put it into the flame. And, like, something cool, and I told Megan, I think I showed you too, like, the paper would, like, sparkle.
Yeah.
And when we would put, like, what we wanted, like, our positives, they would, like, the flame would grow big, and it's like, oh, like, I claimed this.
Yeah.
And we did, like, a little moon bath where you just pretty much, like, sit in silence underneath the moon. And we ended it with a little dance ritual, and it was a lot of fun.
Man, I feel like a woman.
It also showed us that we are not very good dancers,
We're not.
but, you know,
It was fun.
dance like
It was
nobody's
freeing.
watching. And no one was watching, so it was great. Except the blinds were open, so there could have been people watching.
Yeah.
We
But
just
we
don't
didn't know.
No.
So.
And also, we don't care. We're having a good
They
old
could-
time.
And they're like, oh, it's those girls that were burning stuff on their balcony.
Oh my God. I thought the fire department was
that was
cool.
awful. It was so funny though.
So all of this happens, and we send our fears and our hopes and dreams out into the universe, and we kind of made this fire with all this paper that we've been burning.
we were putting it into a candle, and then the candle, like the wick, like ended up.
The wax was like kind of overflowing the candle at this
Yeah.
point.
So then it was just the paper that was on fire, and then
And then, like, the whole candle was on
on
fire.
fire.
We didn't get
So-
a very big candle. It was just like one of those little
Yeah.
white tea
Yeah.
candles. And so, you know, water puts out fire.
I think you should mention, like, before we did that.
Okay, true. I
You were
forgot.
like, we should try to blow it out. And I was like,
Well, how
I
don't-
said
I
that
don't know.
as well, because like it's a candle. Like, what do you?
So then we're
Well,
like,
how
Blow
great
it
would that
out.
be?
You're gonna
Like,
blow it
we
out.
did all this together. All of our stuff is out in the world. Like, let's all just 1, 2, 3 blow it out together.
so we
Like,
got
Not to mention the candle is in a bowl. So there's like
a metal bowl.
a bowl.
Well, it's better than a plastic bowl. The plastic bowl would have melted.
So then we 1, 2, we all blow on 3, and this flame just goes whoosh.
Right in our face.
And we immediately like shrink back, like, oh shit.
We still have our eyebrows.
Well, I don't.
Megan's are questionable, but that was an issue beforehand. And so then we're like, well, shit. Because at this point, it's like we're just going to like sit out here until it goes out. Like, we tried to do that, and then after like 5 minutes, it's like, okay, like, I've made all my wishes, and my thoughts are, you know, free. And so we're like, are we just going to like wait out here until it goes away? Or like the wind comes in? I don't know. And so then I was like, oh, go get the spray bottle of water so we can just like spray it out. That didn't work either.
It was like a firework would
It
go
was
off
like
every time.
fireballs were like coming out.
Every spray is like, it was like, okay, shit, really, how are we going to pour it out?
And Erin's like, Lisa, go check if we have a fire extinguisher. And I'm like, my thought process was like, oh, we have a fire extinguisher.
You said we didn't, and I thought that we did, because I think that our apartment complex is actually supposed to provide us with one.
Well, you're like, under the sink. So I quickly ran them under the sink, and I'm like, we don't have one. And it just felt like, kind of like, okay, are we about to call the firefighters? And is this going to turn into an episode of Friends when Rachel, Monica, and Phoebe pretty much do this? No, they burn ex-boyfriends.
They burn ex-boyfriend stuff, which would also be a very cleansing thing.
Yeah.
Which maybe we could do that for the next time we get together. I have some things that I could probably find and burn.
Okay.
Well, I was just telling Megan, like, when I had a guest over, like, those extra toothbrushes are really convenient. Like, they also remind me that I need to change my toothbrush out every 3 months. Oh, is it month? Every month?
I don't know, man. Every 3 months. Whatever you
Okay,
want.
well, I definitely do it longer than a month, I'm pretty sure. So, if
Your teeth are white. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have
It
pretty
works.
healthy teeth. Anyways, so when he stayed over, he was like, oh, shoot, I forgot a toothbrush. I'm like, I got one for you. And so then it was there. I'm like, oh, yeah, like, it'll be great when he comes over, like, all the time, blah, blah, blah. And, like, now he doesn't ever come over. And so I'm like, well, screw your toothbrush. So
In the trash.
in the trash. I'm like, I could
That
use
would
that
actually
toothbrush.
be a lot of fun. Like, so cleansing, just getting rid of, like,
Shit from
mistakes.
your exes.
Yeah.
Mistakes. I like that. Shit from mistakes.
From
Okay.
mistakes.
But back to the fire story.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that we were talking about that. So Louisa, I was like, okay, let's just pour a bunch of water on it instead of spraying.
It'll just go out.
It'll just go out.
My first thought is
It's gonna just
it's just
explode
gonna
more.
explode, and then the people above us are just gonna catch on fire.
They are the people above.
No, the thing. Okay, maybe not the people, but the
tree.
thing.
The awning.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
I was like, it's
I
gonna.
don't know where I got a tree from. There's a tree above us.
There's a tree across. Anyways, so she brings out this little bucket thing, and I'm like, why? We're such idiots. I was like, okay, to put a candle out, you just cover it and the fire goes out. I was like, we just need to smother it. I was like, Louisa, get me something to cover this bowl. And so she's in our bowl cabinet searching for something to cover it. And she's like, I was like, get something glass. She's like, or something.
I asked, was like, is glass okay? You're like,
I was like,
no shit.
I was like, yeah, you want it to be glass, otherwise the plastic will melt. She's like, it's gonna be one of the casserole dishes, and I'm like, Louisa, get a pot lid, a lid that we put on the pot. And so she found one, and we smothered the fire. So
It went out. We were okay. We
were okay.
survived.
Our
911,
eyebrows.
Yeah.
So
Y'all's
and our
eyebrows.
fears, yeah, our eyebrows.
I was
fake ones
born
are-
without any, so
You have them. They're just very. You have eyebrows.
thanks, Dad, if you're listening.
He only has like 3 little hairs. But you have some, they're just very light. And in pictures, it looks like you don't have it. It's like your bald little eyes.
Bald little eyes?
Yeah, because like this is like their eye, your
My eye
head.
bone. My eye bones.
Your eyeball.
Yep.
Like
It's blonde.
this, like your head would be your eyeball, and so this would be the hair on your
Oh,
head.
so your bald little eye. Okay,
Yeah,
well, I
you
thought
get
like
it?
my eyeball's hair would be like my eyelashes.
That's like the mustache.
Okay.
Her hand
Okay,
movement when she
anyways.
did that.
Anyways, so that was really fun, and then we watched
Matilda.
Yeah.
Because
No.
Megan had never seen Matilda.
I still haven't finished the movie.
Well,
Megan has clearly never seen a lot of like classic. She didn't see Tarzan.
I haven't.
Oh yeah, we're singing. Don't stop your crying, it'll be alright. Come take my hand and hold it tight. Okay, I could sing
Anyways,
the whole song.
yes.
And I'm like, Megan, name this movie. And she freaking couldn't.
She's like staring at you like I could see her in the rear and she's like, I don't know. And I was like, that's why I made that comment. I was like, I feel like we're the parents. We're like, honey, do you know this song?
This is from a great generation of music.
Such a classic.
You kids,
I
your
wasn't-
terrible taste of music.
It wasn't that I was like, I guess not cultured is that the word to say to
I don't
not have
think
seen
that's-
that.
no.
Just exposed. Like it was
Yeah.
more. It was more like our time.
It was a 90s.
Yeah.
But I was also
Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't like watch much. I was active. I was always outside. I didn't.
You
I
watched
couldn't
stuff. You
Well,
just
like,
watched.
Barney maybe but I was doing something. It wasn't
But
like I
you-
sat down and watched a movie as a kid. I mean, I'm sure I
You
did.
were never taken
I'm
to
sure
the
you
movie
watched
theater.
movies as a kid. So just
Every
a little,
once in a while.
just
yeah,
a little
maybe,
backstory.
but-
So Megan and I are half sisters. I'm 8 years older than her. So I'm 28. She just turned 20. Aging myself. But so she's just a little bit behind, like almost a decade
Yeah.
Yeah.
behind. So the stuff that I grew up on necessarily wasn't the stuff she grew up on, and I was like, when she was 5, I was like a teenager. So
yeah.
so just a little backstory. We are sisters on our dad's side, so we both
We
the
have a
same
brother
dad.
in the middle of us too.
Yeah, Mason. His name is Mason.
Okay.
He's
Mason.
okay.
We
I
love
was
him.
like, why did you have to name him?
Yeah, we love him, but we definitely have a pretty cool bond. I think now that you're older and like we can talk about, grown up things. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
just
It's
stuff
more of
that's-
like a friend
it's
sister
a friend
relationship,
sister.
not like
Or,
It's like
you
a
don't
tight
feel like you
bond.
have to like mother me.
yeah, no. I mean, also I like give you advice but you make your own decisions
Yeah.
and we respect that about each other and blah blah blah. So speaking of, I just said Megan turned 20. We did a pumpkin painting contest for her birthday
Yeah, it was fun. It was cute.
and I got second place.
Yeah, I didn't place.
Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She did like this intense eyeball with like little red
Little
veins and
Whoa.
the
Mr. A's was pretty intense, and I was really surprised.
Yeah, I know. He could have made that go one or two ways.
Yeah.
Because he did it like he painted a face
And
with the
stem
little
was
stem
the
coming
tongue.
out, and it.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was his nose.
His nose or
Oh,
tongue.
Whatever. But so it was Miss Nancy, then me, and I did pumpkin spice latte because I'm a basic bitch. And it was the second place. I got silver. I'm proud of it. And then my dad, he painted. What did he get? Or what did he do?
It was like some
Oh,
scarecrow.
it was a scarecrow.
With a candy
A
corn
bloody
nose.
scarecrow. He had like blood coming out of his.
Yeah.
Except scarecrows are filled with straw.
Hey.
They don't have blood or hay.
Just a bunch
Isn't
of
hay and
straws.
straw the same?
I think so.
Listen, I don't know. I didn't grow up on a farm.
Neither did we.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the logistics of scarecrows.
Okay.
Well, then why did you correct you like you did?
I don't know, because let's just drop this.
Okay.
Let's just drop it.
This is a debate that I will not win, so I'm going to drop it. But whenever we were growing up and we would like be driving, and there'd be those hay bales in the field, my dad would always be like, "Hey!" And we're like, "What?" Be like, "Hey!" "What, Dad? Like, what do you want?" He's like, "Hey, it's over there." And it's like, "You're so dumb."
What a
Silly
dad
joke. But yeah, I don't know. What else do we need to talk about?
All right,
Lisa?
Megan. Well, I mean,
You have the paper.
I know. I'm getting to it. So Megan is younger than us, and
yeah.
I did
By
want to talk
far. I'm
about.
just kidding.
I'm like in the middle of you guys. I'm like
Yeah.
4 years younger, 4 years older.
Yes.
So
You're like the
You're
middle
like
child.
the middle
Middle
child. The
I
middle
am.
sister.
I am the middle sister. Aw,
All right.
okay.
We can
I'm
talk about that
honored.
later.
We can talk about what that means later.
Right. Well, I wanted to talk about, like, we just talked our generational gap and stuff, like we did with Tarzan. I want to know about, like, because you probably grew up, I guess, more immersed in social media.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is with...
it was just like already existent when you got a phone. Like it was already
it was
there.
a thing, like
it was
right?
Yeah.
Instagram, Snapchat, like...
Facebook was
No.
Facebook
Well,
was
social media started like Facebook was always there.
Snapchat didn't come or Instagram
I was in the
didn't come out
6th grade.
till-
I remember
freshman
whenever
in high
Erin
school.
texted me and told me to get it. She was like, there's this new app, Snapchat. I was in 6th grade in my science class when you texted me.
Wow.
Wow.
You have a really good memory.
I was a junior in high school and Snapchat came out.
I was in 6th grade.
I think I was in college.
You were, because
I
you were
was in-
away.
Yeah, I think
You
I
went
was
to
in
college whenever I was in 5th grade. That was your
Yeah.
first year in college.
Yeah, so like my first picture on Instagram I think is like 2011.
It's 2012. We did this the other
Oh,
night.
2012,
It was
you're right.
2012.
So and then like
When I
1
was
year
12.
later,
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing about my age is that I was born in 2000, so whatever the year is whatever my
Yeah.
age is.
My brother is too. That's how I only remember
Yeah.
his age.
This year was my golden
reason.
That's the only reason. Well, people will ask me, they're like, how old is your brother? And I'm like, damn it, what year is it? I'm like, oh, okay, he's this old.
He's this old. But just by the way, this is just like a random thought. Excuse me. For next year's birthday, for Megan's birthday, she'll be 21. So that means. Do you know what that
Vegas,
means?
baby.
Okay.
Yes.
You looked so confused.
No, I know,
You were,
because
she
it's
was
like,
like,
I know what
wanna
is
know.
it? What is it? I know what it means, Vegas. I'm planning for it.
okay. I just wanted to.
Mine's
That was your
22.
formal invitation.
Oh, I had already invited myself as part of that trip.
We talked about this last night, actually.
No, the night before.
On Friday.
No, it was definitely last night.
When?
We were
Last
at Brittany's
night?
house.
I don't think I was a part of this conversation.
yes, we did.
You were.
We were
You were right
outside.
next to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to control myself.
Anyways, we're getting a little sidetracked. I have a question about, like, why do people have multiple profiles?
Yeah, what's the point of
What's
that?
with like a public one and then they're like, oh, I have a private one for like my special friends. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like
That's a lot of effort.
It's like top 8 all over again on MySpace. You're like, only my top 8 friends can be a part of my private Instagram.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even know what MySpace is.
I do.
What is it?
Well, did you Google it?
No, my mother had a MySpace and Erin had a MySpace. I wasn't like, obviously
You didn't interact on it.
I didn't interact, but I knew what it was.
MySpace was like a code, like you learned how to code your own website basically. So you would go in there and to change the picture or the picture, the song, your top 8, anything, you would like go into this HDMI or HTML, whatever.
Yeah.
And you would have to go in there and be like, and then like find like background and it would be like blue. And you were like, I want to change it to red. And so you basically became a coder, and you could, like, put music on there, pictures, all this stuff. I don't really know if you could interact on there, like, comments and stuff.
Yeah, you could.
You could?
Yeah, I remember my mom.
You could. I wasn't
MySpace.
allowed to have one just because my parents weren't trustworthy of the internet.
Yeah.
But,
Well, they had a good reason. They got good reason.
My friend Fernanda, she had a MySpace, and she would get on it, and that's where I would just, like, look and be like, oh, and... look at the hot gossip.
You and her could have, like, made a merge page and be like, Luisa and Fernanda's MySpace. You know those couples that do that on Facebook?
Oh,
They're like,
yes.
so-and-so and so-and-so. It's like, why can't y'all both just have an
Your
individual?
own.
Because
Like, I'm not going to be y'all's friend.
Someone's insecure, and they need to make sure they're not talking to any high school exes.
And if they do that, I'm sure that they have a private one without their ex or not without their person
true.
on there.
Very true.
That's annoying. That's another issue.
That's a whole other issue.
Okay, so why do the younger generation feel the need to have 2 profiles?
I think it's just secrecy. I'm guilty of it. I have a private Snap and I have a private Insta.
Private Snap?
Yeah, I have a private Snap story.
Like with the little lock?
Yeah, that means private.
So do you have to have multiple passwords for those?
No, you just go in there and you click add story, and then you add a story and you put a name on it and then you post to it, and you get to like pick who can see that story and who can't. And then on Instagram, it's like you just make a new account, which you would have to have a different password, like a different account for. And then you make it private and you only accept the people that you want on there.
But what's the purpose of that? Why do people do that? Like, what are you keeping a secret?
Yeah, like what?
I mean, it's not really like...
If it's supposed to be
like,
a
what
secret...
kind of pictures are you posting that, like, you feel the need to,
like... I know, okay, so, like...
Or, like, if it's supposed to be secret, like, don't put it on the internet.
It's not, like, secret. It's just, like, more personal that, like... I don't know, my friends from elementary school that moved away that I'm, like, still friends with on my regular Instagram who don't really know me now, but we're still friends, like, I don't necessarily, like... It's more, like, on Finsta is what it's called. On
What?
Fake
Finsta.
Insta?
What?
Yeah, fake Insta.
Fake Insta.
Which is, like, your private Instagram. So on your Finsta, you just, like, post, like, random pictures of you and, like... So today, like, this girl just made me so mad. It's just, like, another platform to just, like... Vent, I guess. And just, like... It's just another way to cause drama, basically.
Yeah, it seems very...
So what happened today?
No, she was giving an example.
Oh. Well, I want to know, like, what she didn't really...
No, she was just giving an example of, like,
Yeah.
what you could post on there. Nothing really happened today.
Nothing really happened today.
I was you made it
all
so,
day.
like...
Louisa's like, can you add me to your fake Instagram?
Right.
I
want
really
to know.
I really don't use it anymore. Sometimes I'll, like, hop on there because, like, I have a couple of friends that are off in college and they post on there, like, very regularly, and I don't talk to them regularly.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll go on there and, like, see, like, what's up, but I don't really post on there. Even my
Okay, but, like...
private story on
But isn't
Snapchat.
that, like, this, I could go on a little tangent about this, but, like, couldn't that be a platform? And I feel like you've told me times that people have gone on their Finstas and, like, were making fun of or
Oh, yeah.
being mean and, like, bullying, basically.
For sure.
Just, like, talking shit about people, and it's, like, that just doesn't
For
seem
what?
right.
Yeah.
For why, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
that is
that's not
basically what it is.
something-
It's like, I want to talk shit about this person and I want everybody to know, but I don't want this person to know. So I'm going to make this story and make this so that this person, eventually it's going to get back to that person.
Yeah.
And that's
That
initially,
just seems like so
That's
much
just a
work.
lot of work. Like, you have to create a new account, that
I
new
feel like
password. You have to, like,
this generation
accept
is brutal
certain
and they will go to the ends of the earth
to
make you feel.
What do they call them? They're like they hate. It's like a hate.
The devil?
No. No. Like, people get onto this, like, one thing and they all just start hating on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they get very aggressive. Like, this generation gets so aggressive.
She's like, these people.
People over
Pointing
here.
at Megan.
Yeah.
Your
Her
generation.
kind. But they just get so aggressive on.
Well,
like,
they get
it's
so
on all
offended about-
platforms.
But I also think that
Silly
it's because
things.
they're not, like, my generation specifically is not very well educated on a lot of things. So, and they want to, they love to, like, cause issues because
When I
it's
think
fun.
they
Like,
want to
drama's fun,
contribute and they want
But they don't
to-
I
know.
think a lot of it is like, oh, this is my opinion, and I was told growing up, my opinion is blah, blah, blah. So it's like, they take this thing, it's like, okay, you're allowed
Yeah.
to have your own opinions, but respect everyone else's.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And you don't need to, and they jump on this bandwagon of like, we're all going to hate this thing because it's stupid, and it's like, you don't
And-
read, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't read. What does Nick Miller say? He's like, I feel like I don't
He's
know
like-
how to read. I
he's
just
like,
memorized
I-
a lot of words.
He's like, oh, I actually don't think I know how to read. I just memorized a bunch of words.
That's literally me and my dyslexic self.
Yeah. Wait,
Well,
how
I
do you
think-
how do you spell arboretum?
ARBO RATUM. Don't put
You were
this in
close.
there. I'm so dumb.
It is a tricky word.
You get to go to the next round of the spelling bee.
And my sister's over there like, Harbor, burr.
I know, I'm like, right?
Erin's like on the front. She's like, you're doing good, honey. You're doing good.
I'm like the mom, like in the Mean Girls, and she's like in the back, and she's like recording, and she's also like doing the dance with them. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. So basically, they're just causing a lot of stress for themselves at the end of the day.
Well, and I think that like, so this
It's
new,
just the adrenaline of...
it's just a lot, and like I think too, they don't have anything really else to do.
Yeah.
So that's why they put so much effort into it. And it's like, if you put that much effort into that, like, think about if you put that effort into something productive,
Yes.
we could fucking change the world.
I've been saying this for the past couple of months because it's like, it's not just like when they're like bullying people, and it's like when there's like the fans of like celebrities and they like read into lyrics and
Yeah.
they make up this whole, and I'm like, if you put that much effort into that,
I've literally never even thought about, like, going on there. I mean, I guess if I was, like, a super fan, but also, like, that
that's
in
a lot
itself
of time.
takes so much time. I'm like, I don't really give two fucks about...
Like, I
these
like the song. I'm not
celebrities-
about to like read like, oh, she said
I'll learn the
she
lyrics.
likes this cardigan. Like, oh, like
I
and they
have to
start,
go
like,
get
Whose
it.
cardigan
Where is
was
it?
it?
yes, and then they're like, oh, like she was there on this date, and like they start connecting.
And
all
then they're
these
like, she wore a
dots.
cardigan when she went to go eat at that restaurant.
Yes,
And if you
they're
guys
like,
don't know
she-
who we're talking about Taylor Swift and her new song Cardigan. So shout out Taylor Swift.
So y'all are reading into the song?
No, this is just what
No,
Luis
but this
has
is
done
what I've
research
just.
on.
I mean, I like her music, but my coworker and I, he's a Swiftie, and we're talking about like the crazy, just like downward spiral people go into, and I'm like, if these same people apply that same amount of effort, a lot of shit like COVID would be cured, cancer would be
Yeah,
cured, like a
really.
lot of shit
one
would
of
have
them,
been.
one of those Swifties has the answer. I know it. If one of y'all could just get off your ass, stop digging into Taylor
Hey,
Swift's life.
But I
and-
will say, me myself, I could not do that. I don't have the talent to do that. But I do have a friend who, if I'm in any kind of relationship or a friend is being sketchy, like, hey, I'll give her the name. I'll be like, can you find something out? And then she's like, yeah. And then literally 2 seconds later, she's like, okay, so I found this out. Da 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 da. And it's like, okay, that's like,
I'm that friend.
Thank
Louise
you.
says
I am that friend. There was like one time we were going to the lake with your dad, Anyways, Erin's like, I need you to look this person up. And Erin's driving, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh, I can't find her. And I'm like getting so mad. And then I finally find her.
It wasn't just oh, I'm getting so mad. It was like, oh, I'm getting so mad.
And then when I finally find her, this like evil laugh.
Oh, that's what it was.
Out of me. And I go, ha ha ha. It was so scary. I was like,
but
oh
it
my
was
God.
weird because I don't remember who this was or like whatever, who you were looking for. But we ended up like finding the mom and the sister and it was
I
just
can
like
find anything.
yeah, it was crazy. I was very impressed.
That's always fun though. Whenever
Yeah.
you like look for something like that. Okay, I know we were just dishing so much on it, but at the same time, like
that's different.
when you're doing
But that's
it,
different because, for example, it's like
You're
I was-
you're doing it for a purpose because
Yes.
if you're sketched out about someone or
you
just
just met
trying to
somebody
find out
online, for
Yeah.
example.
but you're talking about like when like people are like reading into stuff that has no meaning, like a celebrity, that kind of thing.
Yes.
But like
Yeah.
whenever it has purpose, it's like, oh, okay,
yeah. I mean, I guess
Well, if it's
that
for
may-
your
has purpose to
well-being,
them.
yeah. Because,
yeah.
okay.
for example, like, this is going to sound kind of scary. I said this to you today. When I get a guy's phone number, I always, like, do a little phone
Research.
number research to make sure they really are who they say they are. And, yeah, I find a couple of other things.
And also to find out their last name because on a couple of the dating apps,
they don't tell us.
they don't tell you their last name, which is like, okay, I'm not just gonna go meet Ben at Starbucks because like,
yeah,
Yeah.
who's Ben? Ben could be anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
Ben.
chose
Should
Ben.
have like John Doe or something.
Yeah, I know.
But, I mean, that's...
Sorry, all those Bens out there.
We know you're a good guy. But it's, I mean, I do that. It's for my own safety. I want to
Yeah.
make sure, and yeah, I snoop on their social media, like future people, men that might be interested in me. Yes, I might do a little background check for my safety, and I do that for any of my friends if they send me the phone number.
So
It's
if you are wanting someone looked out or checked out,
call Louisa.
yeah,
Louisa.
you know our email address.
Yeah, email me.
So just
Email
put it
us.
in there. We'll get back to you.
Yeah,
But
that would be. We could turn into like a little catfish show.
that would be so
Oh
fun.
my God.
That would be so fun.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. We would be the hosts.
Erin and I actually have, this is random, that one friend we had and her boyfriend was like cheating.
Yeah.
And all we had was one letter.
Oh,
That
this
on
was
his
your
phone.
ex-roommate.
Yeah,
This
my
is-
ex-roommate, yeah. She
We
was
could
like,
roll with
no, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he's talking to another girl, like he's modeling, like he's doing all this stuff that you are not aware of.
Yeah, behind her back.
Like she had no idea he was modeling. So then she finds this like one letter that he's been texting.
Like that's the name that he put it in
okay.
his phone. So it was
His
like
contact.
M.
It's just M.
Okay.
So he's been texting or whatever, and like she had seen that, like he had been texting this M person,
okay.
and I'm sure he told her that it was a guy or whatever, and so we were like, the fuck, it's not. So Luisa and I like just searching on his like
It was like
any
15
M.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We like went on his. It was really scary. We like went on his Instagram, went to see like what he was liking. If any of those girls had like M names, and like we ended up finding the girl and her sister and like what high school she went to. Like,
yeah, guys, if you're gonna cheat, like
be smart.
be smart, but also just
Okay,
don't do it.
guys,
because
don't do it.
Just don't do it because
Scratch
you're
that comment.
gonna-
Don't be smart.
You're gonna get caught.
No, be smart. Don't do it.
Yeah, be
Oh,
smart.
yes.
Don't-
Sorry.
The rule.
That should be the motto to go by. Be smart. Don't cheat.
do it.
Yeah.
Because it always comes back.
Well,
Even
it's
when,
always gonna come back. It's gonna bite you in the butt. You're gonna have relationship problems down the road because you
Karma's
get
a
trapped.
bitch.
Yeah, it's gonna, just don't do it.
don't do it.
But if you do decide to do it, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
100% every single time. It might take a little bit, but
Somebody's
you
gonna
will
get
caught.
mad at you and tell her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Woo! Someone was excited about that.
Oh my goodness.
But speaking of old roommates, I've never personally had like a really bad roommate. Like I've been very lucky and fortunate to not I have actually had a friendship end over roommates and blah blah blah. So I don't need to get into that, but that was like a long time ago. I hope she's doing well. Like I don't have any ill will towards her or anything like that. But I know both of you have like recent roommate drama. So
that's what we bonded over.
Yeah, really.
We really did.
I had 2 in the past year.
2
bad roommates in the past year.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Louisa should start because she's older, and
Okay.
it was.
Yeah. All right. We'll go down the line.
Yeah, go down the line.
My roommate situation, I think we've kind of like touched base on it on the podcast. She was a really good friend, and she was wanting to move out of her grandparents, and I was wanting to also like flap my wings and get out of my parents' house. So I was like, sure, like I'll room with you, like, you know,
It'll be great.
it'll be great. Yeah.
And it was.
It was
good between both of y'all until a third person came into the mix.
Yeah.
For
So-
both of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, Erin
that's-
knew my roommate.
yeah. I worked with her.
Yeah.
And I worked with both of y'all. And so I was also friends with her, and we would all hang out all the time. And I think the drama really started when y'all moved into that second apartment and got a third roommate
Yeah.
who also worked with us.
Yeah. And the third roommate was very I'm very wise for my age. I'm very like during the roommate, like when it comes to like living situation, like stuff was going down, and the third roommate would like, now that I look back on it, she's like whispering like little things and like venting, and so I would always be like, okay, like if this is an issue, we all need to sit down
Have a
and
family
talk
meeting.
about it
Yeah.
and address it. Okay, like
That's my issue.
and that's it. It's closed. Case closed.
Come up with a solution, talk about a plan, how to not let this happen again.
Yeah.
Like in any good relationship, communication is
It's key.
You're not going to have a good relationship with your roommate if you keep shit bottled up and then you just explode one day because they don't put the dishes in the dishwasher after they're done. And like it really bothers you. Like you just need to tell them because people can't read your mind.
Yeah.
And I've told you this multiple times. You need to sit down and make that
It's just having a
guideline
Yeah.
of expectations, just to have that open communication with the people that
you live with. Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
it's-
I mean,
I
it's hard.
struggle with that.
yeah.
It's hard.
And I
'cause-
think it's just something that you learn, like, as you get older. You're
Yeah.
like, fuck, if we don't have this conversation, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse. And you're going to keep brushing shit under the rug. And that rug's just going to be a lumpy fucking rug.
Yeah. And you're about to
And-
like trip over in it, and you're gonna get pissed.
And you're going to fall flat on your face. Wow. That
Good
metaphor
work.
went all the way around.
But like the thing about when you're sitting down having the conversation, it's trying to keep like not your feelings out of it, but not
Like, keep your composure.
Yes.
Keep your emotions out of it.
keep your emotions in check.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always be like, okay, I don't like that this is going on. I want to make you aware of it. She has come to me and has made it aware of it, the third roommate. And so Curly, as we call her, my first roommate, she at the time felt like we were ambushing her and like attacking her. And it's kind of frustrating when you're talking to people that don't like what they're hearing. They're not, what's the word? They don't like, how do you say this?
They just
Being
can't-
corrected.
No, they just, they want to hear what
They want
they
to
want.
hear.
Yeah. And they're not hearing what they want to hear, so
They get upset.
they get upset.
And she was a fucking crier. Like, anything that didn't go her way, she would just cry. And Luis and I kind of bonded over this, I think, from day one, that we are very, like, sufficient people. If there's a problem, like, how are we going to fix it? I might complain about it for 1 or 2 times, but if it's a continuous problem, like, I'm not going to sit there and just let this problem be a thing that I just complain about
Yeah.
and be a bother to my friends and family and just complain to them. Like, okay, this is my life. how am I going to take control and fix it?
Yeah.
And I think that she just wanted to fucking talk about shit that was going on in her life. And it's exhausting when you have someone like that in your life.
Exhausting. I remember there was like one time you came over. She had just broken up with him. And you're like, we're going to go out. Like, we're going to have fun. Like, forget him. Like, blah, blah, blah. And she just had like a thing. Like, she had something against bars. Do you remember?
But then she also didn't, because she also went out with us multiple times.
I know. She's fickle. She's a follower.
Yeah.
She jumps on a bandwagon. And at the time, she was so upset. And I remember, like, you're like, all we do is hang out and sit on this damn gray couch. Which is
we
true.
did.
Which is true.
I would always go over to y'all's apartment. We would never do anything. We would always just go there and, like, watch TV. And, like, I'm cool with that every once in a while. But I'm very, like, social. I want to go out. I want to talk to people. And I'm, like, one of those extroverted introverts. Like, I'm probably not going to go up to a stranger and, like, have a conversation with them.
But I like to be around strangers and put in a situation where I can talk
I like
to them.
be hanging out with my friends in a fun environment and meet new people, and I love that. And so I feel like she was just, like, putting herself in this box and not expanding into new things so she was just limiting herself. And she was, I think, about your age, a little older, maybe.
She was, like, maybe a year older.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I think she's also just very naive about, she's been in this relationship after relationship, which, you know, whatever, that's fine. But you're still allowed to go out and have fun in a relationship. And if you feel like you can't go out and have fun, you're in the wrong relationship. Like, that's not the person that you're supposed to be with. Yeah.
So what pretty much, just to, like, end my what ended my situation was I was just exhausted of coming home and not being able to relax in my own house, pretty much. So I remember coming home one night, and at the time I was interning with an immigration lawyer. So I would come home from my normal job, go to school, and then at night I would still go and, like, do stuff for this lawyer. So I would get home sometimes at 9, and I'd have to be up early the next day to start my day. And I came home, and they're like, hey, like, can you come out to the balcony? And, like, this is after the other roommate, the third roommate, had vented to me about all this stuff. And I was like, okay, let's have a conversation, like, adults, civil adults. And pretty much it was like, well, just ambushing me, like, attacking me for things that I'm like, I'm just asking, like, I just want to come home and, like, not have to worry about all this other stuff going on. Like, this is my house. I pay the bills here. And I remember, like, okay, like, if this is how it's going to be, like, I'll move out. Like, I don't need this.
Well, this is also, so there was already 3 people living in the house. Louisa and the other 2 roommates. And then Curly got into another relationship, and she started living there.
Pretty much.
Basically, rent-free. Kind of the similar situation with you, Megan. And so
it's just like I would work 7 to 3, and I would come home, and it's like, okay, like, I have a little bit of time before I have to work out and go to class. And I would walk into my house, and she's just laying on the couch watching Netflix. And it's like, hi.
You don't live here.
You don't live here. And another
Go
thing.
home.
I made the mistake of getting a dog with this roommate. That's one thing I talked about. And when her partner was there, the dog was never allowed out of the cage. And I was like, I don't care. If she doesn't like dogs, she doesn't have to come over.
Yeah.
This is the dog's house.
Yeah.
This person doesn't pay bills.
We paid pet rent.
So
the pet lives here too.
No, we
He
didn't.
even pays rent.
He didn't pay rent.
Okay, well, she doesn't have to know that.
Oh, okay.
The apartment doesn't have to know that.
Okay. Well, anyways, bottom line, I ended up talking to management, and I was like, what do I need to do? Like, I'm moving out. Like, do they, they found a third person.
It just became a very hostile environment.
Hostile. Like, when I was packing my stuff up, I would put all my boxes up against the door because I didn't have a lock. Like, that's how, like, just uncomfortable I was in my own house.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
That. Yeah.
I ended up moving back with my mom, and, like, I had to put
Get your shit back together. Your ducks in a row again.
Yeah, and here
Which
I am.
is completely normal, and like I was telling you, we're fortunate enough to have our parents to fall back on when. So, I mean, we just have to be grateful for that, you know, like, you're in that situation right now, living back with your mom, and I know it's tough, but I was like, I told her the other day, I was like, you could be living under a bridge in a box.
Yeah.
I was like, she was like, yeah, I guess so. Like, I know that things... This is my wisdom coming out, since I'm 8 years older than you, 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
Things... And this is a struggle that I have as well, but, like, things seem so hard and big that, and, like, stuff that we can't control, like, it just seems like the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if we, like, just take a step back and be like, okay, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
It really could be, you know? And it's just, like...
Most definitely.
Like, wow.
Well, that's why, like, I was, like, so grateful. I was like, okay, like, I even got closer to my mom ever before.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like, this
Like,
is
things
tough. And,
happen
like, she
for a
told me,
reason.
and, like, I mean, I remember, like, after, like, finally, like, moving all my stuff, like, I got my brother and my cousin to come help me. Like, it was, like, a one day, like, grabbed all my stuff, took a day off work, took all my stuff from the kitchen, all of it, like, glasses, everything. And I was like, okay. And I called my cousins, and we lived on the 3rd floor. And got all my shit, and I left. And I remember just, like, crying, because it's like, I don't trust people, and it's like, I put a lot of effort into that friendship, and you were just throwing it away. Like, I don't deal with people like that. No.
Well, I feel like her friendship was just, like, very limiting, because she was a very, like, an anchor to you, because y'all would just do, you know, like, she wasn't really doing anything. She was doing what you were doing, and it's like, a relationship is supposed to, like, you're supposed to help each other grow, and you're, like, teach each other things, and, like, experience things together, and I don't know if that's necessarily her fault. I just think that she didn't really have anybody else here but you and her grandparents and stuff, but, like, I don't know. I feel like it was definitely a tough time for you, but looking back at it now, just, like, you'll look back on your situations.
It's definitely, like,
years from now.
Just a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I remember my dad, when I first moved out, he's like, you're making a mistake, like, blah, blah, blah. And I remember telling him at, like, I was 20. I was like, okay, like, it might be a mistake and it might be horrible. I was like, but let this be my mistake that I can learn from and, like, pick myself up from, because if I don't learn to make these mistakes, like,
on my own
without
That's
your
exactly
help,
what I told
like,
my dad.
like, there are going to be things as adults, like, our parents always want to help us, and that's great, but there are things
you can help me when I fall. Like, if
Yes.
I fall, you can be there to help me, and
But
I will
push
appreciate
me
it.
to do better.
But
and, like, learn on my own.
yeah,
that's the only way. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
like, I could tell you a million times, don't do that, and I believe I told you not to move in with this roommate that you're gonna tell us about, because I didn't think it was a good idea. But
I was,
you had to, you had to learn.
And that was my main goal. Like, moving into that apartment, whenever I told my dad specifically that I was going to move in with her, I was like, because my dad really none of my family had even met her.
Yeah.
It was just like, we knew each other through people, and she worked at an apartment complex that was super, super nice, and it just all seemed to, like, line up. And so, I told my dad, I was like, maybe this isn't a good idea, maybe it is, but, I mean, we'll find out, time will tell. And he was just like, okay, I, like, support it, like, go ahead. And he was like, well, we'll find out, we'll see. And so, moved in with this person, and
It didn't last long.
no, it didn't. And everything was fine at first, and previous to us moving in, one of my best friends from high school that I was, like, super close with, my whole family knew him, like, just super close with him, I introduced them, and so he went to school, so he was not here very often, and whenever we moved into our apartment, he came to visit, and then it ended up being, like, that week that we moved in was the week COVID started, like the pandemic, the quarantine happened. So then it was like spring break week. And then his spring break got extended and he didn't want to go home, so he stayed with us. And this whole time
there was always a reason for
there
him
was
to
always
stay.
a reason, yeah. And so about a month and a half later, this whole time, like, I'm just thinking, like, you know, he's just chilling, and he's still there a month and a half later. And then come to find out,
wasn't contributing, like,
at all. No, he had no job. Not to mention my roommate had 2 kids at this time. I think the youngest was like 7 or 8 months, and then the other one was 2.
And this girl is our brother's age, 22.
She's 22
with 2 kids and under 2.
Baby daddy is, let's
jail.
just say, out of the picture, in jail. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
No, you can say that, but I didn't want you to go any further.
Yeah.
Just, out of the picture, in jail, which is a whole nother story, but
for another time we can talk about it.
And then come to find out, he's dating my roommate, and so he's just not contributing, doesn't have a job. Her and I both work, her and I both pay bills. And then as I start to find out that they're dating, because they try to keep it like a secret.
Well, and also the fucked up thing is that, like, you and him kind of used to be, like, on and off. Like,
we
maybe
were
not
on and off,
off,
but we
more
can
like-
use the term, we were fuck buddies.
Yeah.
Friends. I was it's a term, friends with benefits.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck
But
buddies.
fuck
works
buddies is
through-
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But-
that was our relationship, and then they tried to, like,
very shitty of him to, like, go and
'Cause
throw
he's
that
having
in
his-
behind my back.
Yeah.
Like,
He's having
it's not
his
like
cake and eating it too.
Yes.
Yes,
In-
exactly.
in your house.
And it's not even that
Disrespect.
like, he's been in a relationship before, like, while we were friends with whatever, and it's not like we haven't stopped what we were doing because he was in a relationship.
Yeah.
But, like, then I guess it was just the fact that it was my roommate. He didn't want to tell me, and she didn't want to tell me either. So they just hid it from me.
I'm sorry.
Which is another
Which is,
fucked
like,
up thing.
disgusting.
Because
disgusting.
exactly, if you really think about it, like, they're trying to hide it as much as they can. So they're not sleeping together. Well, where is he sleeping?
I have a
He's sleeping
question.
in my room. Like,
Ew. I have a
Yeah.
question. Did
No,
she
we weren't-
ever know
not
that
like
you
that.
guys were fuck buddies?
yes, because the first time that they hooked up, she was like, because he's younger than I am. Mm-hmm. He's almost a year younger than I am.
Cougar.
Yeah, and she's 22.
Oh, you can.
Oh.
And
You
so,
sugar mama.
He likes them older ladies.
but the first time that they hooked up, it was like a drunken night kind of thing. And then the next morning when she woke up, she was like, I feel disgusting. Like, he's such a baby. Like, he's so young. And, like, that's, like, the guy that you're always with. Like, that's your best friend. And I was like, I mean, he doesn't, it's
she
not
just
like
was
we were in a
wanting, like-
relationship or anything. But
Yeah.
I
But
know
yeah,
that it was just
still
like a drunken
fucked
night.
up.
Like,
Whatever.
I'm not that mad about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that, like, about a week and a half after that, they started dating.
So I'm just gonna put this other piece of knowledge out there. Like, if you have to hide it,
it's
probably not a good
okay.
idea, and it's not okay. Like, if you don't feel good about telling your best friend or telling your mom or telling your dad
Your
or
roommate, the person you live with.
right, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Anybody, like, I'm just saying as a broad spectrum, if you're doing something and you're like, oh shit, like, I'm pretty sure that they would be mad about it if I did it, and you're
Upset,
scared
yeah.
to tell them,
Yeah.
it's probably a sign for you to not do it.
Yeah, to stop that. Stop it.
Yeah,
But
I'm just throwing, like, little pieces of knowledge at you guys.
Yeah, it's like that little voice in your head, like when you're doing it,
Yeah.
and it's like, that's not a good idea, don't do it, and you're like,
But then the devil's
then
like,
the little
"Do it,
devil
do
is
it."
like, oh, how much fun it would be, and you're like, yeah, you're right, and then you go and fucking do it, and
You fuck yourself
you
over.
fuck yourself over.
But anyways, so then it just kind of became like a thing where the living room, everything outside of my room was theirs. And then I would come home from work and I would get off of work and I would try not to go home until like 10 or 11. And then I would just go to my room. And then I ended up, she was just not a nice person at all. And her and I just, towards the end of it, just did not get along at all. But her and him were so, I guess, focused on each other and fixing the relationship that was already broken. I mean,
to
he had
begin
already
with.
he cheated on her like multiple times just from me living there with them for
3
what,
months.
6 months?
Yeah, something crazy. Crazy.
Actually, I
short.
think it was like 4 months.
Yeah, it was not long.
It was
at
like
all.
from February to July. We moved in February 19th.
You know how they have, this is like random, you know how they have like the shortest marriages, like record of that? They should have like a record of like shortest roommates.
But by the end of it, the kids, like I said, she had 2 kids, a baby, and then a 2-year-old. They were basically put on to me, and I know a lot of people would be really angry about me for saying that, but like behind closed doors, like that was me. Like she would put out into the
she just
to
not
everything
just
that
that,
she's doing so much and that she's such a great mom, but really behind the scenes, I'm the one that was changing their diapers. I was the one that was putting them to bed. I was the one that was feeding them. Like
You were their mother figure. I remember talking to you about like
it was the greatest thing because they looked at me like I was God. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting my diaper changed. And like it was so sad to watch, but so rewarding.
But for her, she had a built-in babysitter. So
Exactly.
she had a live-in nanny.
Yeah.
She had a live-in nanny.
And-
she didn't have to pay for.
Yeah, that was something that I was one of my concerns when you first
Which I was
told me.
warned. I was warned by. This is gonna be really confusing. By the kid's grandmother. Because I had a close relationship with her.
On the
Dad's
father's side?
side.
Okay.
Whenever I told her that I was moving in with her and the kids, she said, like, I don't think this is a good idea. And, like, my naive self, I was like, oh, well, you don't know her like I do, you know? Like,
Right.
But really, I didn't know her how she did.
Well, and it's crazy because whenever you do, and I've told you, like, you could be friends with someone, hang out with them every day, do all this stuff, but when you're living with someone 24/7,
completely
it's
different.
so
Yeah.
different.
It's completely because you
And
have your little quirks. Everyone has their little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I genuinely think, though, if it wasn't for him moving my best friend at the time and her boyfriend now, moving in like he did and keeping all those secrets and like all that kind of stuff,
could've been
I
different.
genuinely think that her and I would still be living together, and I think that
It would
everything
be fine.
would be fine. But I think whenever he came in, she lost sight of everything. And it's not that I think that she's an awful person. I just think
Right.
that her mindset changed whenever he came around.
Well, and there are people like that, and I'm not saying that I'm not one of them, but like whenever they get into relationships, it's like they shut the entire world off.
Yeah, like that is the only
And
person
that matters. Yeah.
And it
Which
sucked. It sucked to watch because she had kids.
Yeah.
Exactly, which is fine if you are
My age
completely
and
single.
you are single and
You
no
completely-
kids.
But I know
But also not healthy because you still have
True.
people that love you, like
that want to see
that
you.
want to see
yeah.
you, that you need to spend time with. Like spending 24/7
with that
one person is not good.
Like the honeymoon
No.
stage goes out quick out the window.
yeah.
But I mean, I knew a lot of like single mom. I have single mom friends that I knew one that didn't introduce her kid to her boyfriend until like a year and a half later. So like, I mean, she just didn't ever learn how to separate both. I don't know. She thought like girlfriend first, blah blah blah, and like mom
But
last.
Yeah.
also, like,
Right.
it was also frustrating because, like I said, baby daddy's in jail. Baby daddy doesn't know that this man is living in our house.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that this man is literally sleeping in the same bed as his daughter.
Yeah.
On top, just in the same room as his son. Like, doesn't know any of this. And then I moved out. And whenever I moved out, it was like you did. I got my brother, I got my stepdad, I got my mom, I got just everyone. And I had already packed up everything. I had put, which I would lock my door and they would pick it while I was at work. Because during quarantine, she worked from home and I didn't. I had to go into work. And so both of them were home and they would pick my lock and they would get in there. And so then I got another lock with a key on it. And they ended up figuring out how to pick that too.
That's so
That
crazy.
is so fucked up.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to know what is going on in your room that badly, Louisa. Like,
Yes.
if you had a lock on your door, I'd be like, okay, like, I respect
And
it.
whenever she
but
found
I
out
would
that I
never
put that
be
lock
like-
on there,
pick your door because I need to
my credit card.
go
Like, no.
Yeah.
read
And it
your
was,
shit
and the way that I
stuff.
found out was I would always sleep with my TV on, like just the screen on, and I would lock my door. And I woke up the next morning
Oh, no.
and my door was cracked and my TV was off.
Oh, my God.
And I texted them and I was like, because it was like we would avoid each other so much that we had to text each other. And also I wanted to text them so that it was like, it wasn't just her word against mine.
Yeah.
Right. It was
So,
evidence,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I was just like, who was in my room? And they were like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, why would we want to get in your room? Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
my God.
Like, why was my door open? I locked
You
it.
should
Yeah.
have bought, like, they sell those things that you...
Like a little
it's a
camera.
stick. Well, it's a stick. No, it's the thing they sell for, like, women that, like, just girls that live completely by themselves. And it's like a whole pole thing that you put...
In
and
front
it's,
of the
like,
door, so
jamming
they-
the door, but it's, like, no one can break in because it's, like...
Yeah.
Why don't we have that, Louisa?
We should probably get one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And so whenever I moved out, so she works at the apartment complex. Prior to everything going south, my mom moved into the same apartment complex a building over. So,
Oh, my God. I didn't know that was that close.
yeah, it's a building over. And so I just basically moved across the street. And she still works at our apartment complex. So that's rough. But, I mean, nothing's happened. But I get a call about a month ago from a guy that I used to talk to who just so happens to be baby daddy's brother. And I answer, and he was like, hey, like, what are you up to? And I was like, nothing. And he was like, hold on. Well, on the other line is baby daddy. And baby daddy found out.
It's in jail, by the way.
Yes.
Let me conference you in. Beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Yeah.
Do you accept the charges?
Baby daddy found out about everything and just basically like he was crying and he was just like, I feel like I have no power and I feel like the kids are in a bad situation. And I was crying and he was just like, whatever you have to do to like help those kids, do it. So it went a little further than that, but we don't have to get into all of that.
Yeah. I think that would be another.
A whole
We
nother
could,
episode.
we could literally talk about that. And
You
then
can
I
literally
know,
talk about my life for days and days and days.
Well, I know that you also said that you have another roommate story, and I do want
I
to
really
get to
wanna
that,
dive
but I
into
think
this.
that should be another episode,
Yeah.
and we could do like a 2-parter thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
So, I think that we could end it there unless you have
Yeah.
anything else that you
I
want
don't
to talk
have
about.
any.
Oh, my dates.
We were
I
gonna
haven't
ask
seen
about
my
your dates,
Okay,
Megan.
well, we can talk about that on the other one too, unless you want to. We can do it now. Let's
I was
just
just
do it
gonna
now.
ask about her 2 dates she had yesterday.
Yes. Okay. Let's just.
Okay,
do it now.
wait. No, why don't we do it like this? Where we do a second one, and we tie in that, and then how it's been getting back into the dating world after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. So I think that we will. Like, I know you said that you wanted to talk about your
I do.
first
I think that it's really
roommate.
important to do that.
I think it is too, and it would be really good for you and everyone, I think, to hear.
Yeah.
So I think we need
think it'll
to
answer
do
a lot of
another
questions.
We should do like a part 2.
a part 2.
A part 2 of Megan
For
on the
Megan.
podcast. Yeah.
And so I think unless we have anything else, we could end this one, and then we can
Yeah. I mean,
do
I
a
think
round
we're,
2.
Yeah, and
We're
let's just
done.
record it right now.
We will.
Okay.
I was just trying to close
I was
it.
like, I don't want to plan another day.
No, I know. We're just
Yeah.
gonna close it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. We're good here.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yippee.
Yes.
Okay, so
All
on that note, we'll
Be on the lookout for part 2, guys.
yeah,
It's
It's
gonna be
coming
good.
and it
It's
is
gonna be deep.
juicy and deep.
we're gonna be
and
talking about dating and all this shit. So
Some deep stuff. So
some deep,
get your
deep
wine
stuff.
ready, or whatever you're drinking. I don't care.
get your wine ready. All right, let's cheers. Cheers to
Cheers.
Megan and having her on the show. Whoa, that was good.
Ooh. See y'all next time.
See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.